I would like to thank the organizers of the Qatar Public Health Conference for giving me the opportunity to contribute in today's proceedings. In the next few minutes, I will share with you some insights on the importance of regional investments in food risk analysis to support effective decision making in food safety and nutrition. I will start by further positioning the importance of risk analysis as a foundational aspect of effective food control systems and effective decision-making processes. I will share with you the outputs of an experience that was implemented in the Arab region to enhance capacities and competencies in one of the components of risk analysis, and that is risk assessment. And from there, I will call for further investments at the regional level and for further leadership, perhaps through the creation of a center of expertise in risk analysis. Now, the Codex Alimentaris Commission provided us with guidance as to what constitutes an effective food control systems. And he told us that such system needed to be aiming primarily to protect consumers' health and safety, but also consumers' economic well-being from food fraud. It also told us that an effective system needed to ensure fair practices in the food trade through providing a predictable environment, equality of treatment of food business operators, as well as transparency in the decision-making process. Now, if you want to take this guidance from Codex and you want to summarize it, one of the ways to do so is essentially to look at this guidance that a food control system needs to be anchored and based primarily in the form of a robust legislative and regulatory framework. It needs to have decisions made according to a logical framework provided by the three components of the risk analysis principles. And this is where the importance of risk analysis comes. That's what allows us to have the logical framework for decision making. That's what will allow the predictability and the consistency of the methodology that are applied. This, of course, requires to be done in the context of having a robust governance, but also to have collaborations and partnerships amongst the various stakeholders. We need to rely upon functioning institutions as well as a strong scientific capacity. We know that to implement the risk analysis principles, we need to have major investments. We know particularly that one of the components of risk analysis, and that is risk assessment, requires capacities and competencies in the form of mainly trained individuals, in the form of data that are available, in the form of tools. And this takes time and takes resources. In order to maximize the ability of success, we need to work together. We need to collaborate, and that's where regional experiences and regional investments may offer a solution. The application of this regional approach was followed as part of the capacity building program known as the Arab Food Safety Initiative for Trade Facilitation. This is a program that was implemented since 2016, and of which the state of Qatar was a key partner and a key active player. This initiative was implemented by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. It was funded by the Swedish International Development Agency, and the implementation needed the strong collaboration with the League of Arab States and two of its subsidiary organizations, the Arab Industrial Development and Mining Organization, as well as the Arab Organization for Agricultural Development. The main objective was to drive towards harmonization and convergence of positions in food safety decisions. This is with the intent to enhance intra-regional trade of food and agri-food commodities amongst the countries of the Arab region, particularly those countries that have signed the free trade agreement known as the PAFTA agreement. Very early on in the process, this initiative identified that we needed to have an investment in an Arab food risk assessment initiative. There is no way that we can achieve consistent food safety decisions if we do not anchor them in a scientific assessment in the form of a risk assessment. And clearly, we identified that we needed to invest in competencies and in capacities in risk assessment. That's what this Arab risk assessment initiative aimed for. Since 2016, a number of investments went in this area. And one of the key deliverables consisted in training 12 individuals from food regulatory agencies or from academic institutions in the Arab region and bring their competencies to the level that is internationally benchmarked in order to be risk assessors serving the Arab food control system.
محمد الهذيل السعودية.
كريمة الزوين المغرب.
جويس حداد لبنان.
ربيعة عبد القادر ليبيا. إيمان حلمي مصر.
نضال حسن السودان.
نور إبراهيم تونس.
فهد القحطاني السعودية.
وئام جسومة تونس.
ربا قصوص الأردن.
إلهام عبد فتحي من العراق. عمل جماعي رائع.
كفاءات اليوم والمستقبل وركائز تقييم مخاطر سلامة الأغذية في الوطن العربي. لا مجال لأنظمة سلامة الأغذية المستدامة بدون الاستثمار في بناء الكفاءات وإنتاج البيانات لتقييم وتحليل المخاطر.
Now we need to sustain this investment. We need to sustain this investment by creating particularly a host for these risk assessors that have been trained. We need to continue investment, particularly in risk assessment. And this is what I have been calling for in a paper that I co-authored with a number of scientists from the Arab region, where particularly I'm advocating for the model of the creation of a regional center of expertise for food risk analysis. This center of expertise can in fact be the host of competencies from the Arab region that have been trained in order to conduct these risk assessment on demand, perhaps at the request of Arab food regulators themselves. This center of expertise could even go as far as formulating options for risk management that follow, again, the risk analysis principles and that are substantiated by an evidence basis. These options could be drawn upon by food regulators from the Arab region in order to develop their own standards and to ensure that their standards will withstand the challenge of other partners from the World Trade Organization. One of the other objectives pursued through this focal point or center of expertise is that we can constitute a repository for data generation and data collection to support risk assessment, data for food consumption information, or data around monitoring of contaminants, for example, in food products in the Arab region. We are looking for continued investment in this area. The center also could serve as a focal point for capacity building and for further training, not only to create internal competencies, but also to serve other regulators in the region. And it is only through these type of investments, through the level of collaboration and through a leadership, that we will be able to fulfill the objective of creating food control systems that are based on the application of the risk analysis principles, and that will therefore produce standards and food regulatory decisions that are in line with the best international practices. شكرا مرة أخرى لمنظمي المؤتمر لإتاحة لي فرصة المشاركة في هذا المؤتمر. I wish you great proceedings for the rest of the conference.